what's the best turf to use at a residential property? One thing that we typically suggest at a home, oftentimes you've got family, kids, pets. We like to recommend using a product that's going to be a little bit more full and lush. We typically stay above 90 ounce weight on every residential project that we install, and the reason that we do that is it is going to give a more natural, full look to the lawn, which is typically what people are going for. You used to see a lot of the lower ounce weight materials used, and there was a whole lot of, I think, people getting information that wasn't necessarily accurate in regards to it being more stable for traffic and things of that nature. But you will find with a higher ounce weight turf, it actually withstands the traffic better than a low ounce weight turf. There's more blades of the turf. A lot of clients ask me, does the ounce weight translate to it lasting longer? Well, it doesn't translate to it lasting longer, but the reality is the higher the ounce weight, that ounce weight is essentially how much material is in each square foot of the product. So the more product you have in each square foot, you're getting more blades of grass. And the more blades that you have, the more support you have for each other to stand back up after you've played on it or you've walked on it. When you have more airspace between the blades and they get smashed down, it is fully putting all that weight, all that effort back on that single blade to get back up. And that's where you a lot of times see the fully smashed down turf at a restaurant or some of these places where, they plan on replacing the turf every 2 to 3 years. They go into it knowing that they have so much traffic. This is something they're going to be redoing every so often, but that's not the case in a residential setting. You want to make that one-time investment, and have it last for a long time. So some recommendations when you're working with a company like Crown & Blade Turf or any other company out there, because we understand a lot of clients like to get competing bids, and you're going to find that there's little nuanced differences between each company, how they're pricing out the work, all the labor that's going into it. Some of the big things that I like to mention to people that aren't always taken into consideration are making sure that the company you decide to go with is looking into the grading. We always want to make sure that the grading is something that is looked at by the company you're choosing to make sure that your water flow in the yard is still going to be flowing correctly if we ever get rainstorms. You don't want to just install something perfectly flat typically. That is going to allow it to gather water, and really you're taking away the natural grade of your yard to move water to where it should be going, and away from your house is the ultimate goal. Another big thing we like to point out for those that it pertains to is just your windows. Those windows, when they get the sun reflecting off them, create a dual pane magnification reflection that is not covered under warranty by any turf manufacturer that we've come across today in Arizona. It'll essentially, like people used to do with eyeglasses and burning ants, you're reflecting light through 2 panes of glass and it bounces back down onto the turf, and it will essentially burn the turf. It's putting down a spot on the ground that can be upwards of 200 degrees, and no turf is designed to handle that type of heat at this stage of the game. Another big thing that I would say is important to make sure your turf company that you choose is going over with you is some of the maintenance items that we bring up, especially if you have pets. People a lot of times complain and are very nervous about getting turf when they have pets because of the smell. And ultimately, like I tell my clients, pets are like children. They bring on a little bit of maintenance, and that little bit of maintenance goes a long ways. Doing things like keeping it washed off once every 3 to 4 weeks is really going to help get all of that potential dried urine on the turf down through the bottom where it can naturally neutralize with the minerals that's in the dirt below. Also, getting yourself either a pet infill at the beginning of your install, like EnviroFill. It's an antibacterial, antimicrobial deodorizer. This is a really good recommended product, but I also tell my clients I've been doing this for over 10 years. Many of these products that you can do as far as the infill is concerned, it's a very good protective measure, but it is not the end-all be-all. It is still really good to go look on places like Amazon. You can get them on Walmart for an aftermarket product that is a cleaner for turf. It might be something that you choose to do once a quarter, every 3 months or so, and it takes 15 to 20 minutes to use these products where you're putting in 4 to 6 ounces of solution. They are all natural ones that you can find out there that are safe for your pets, safe for your children, and ultimately it's going to keep the turf smelling nice and clean and keep any potential growth of bacteria from the activity that your pets are doing on the turf. This is Ben Hudson with Crown & Blade Turf. Give us a follow for more tips and tricks.